Christmas in Australia is hot. Crazy hot. While our American friends are trying to stay warm by the fire, Aussies seek the cool water of an ocean dip. Temperatures sear into the low 40s. That's over 110 Fahrenheit. But for some, the cool sea isn't for them. They like the heat of a summer's night by a different fire. This is Brandt Sprintcar Speedweek. 5 nights, 5 tracks, in just 7 days. It's the Aussies against the Americans, racing for national pride, fan adulation, and over $200,000 in prize money. The 5 nights of Speedweek are run at 5 different speedways, all different sizes, different surfaces, different shapes, and different vibes. Murray Bridge Speedway, Borderline Speedway Mount Gambier, Avalon Raceway, and Premier Speedway Warrnambool have been a staple diet for Speedweek since it started 21 years ago. This year, there's a new kid on the block. The brand new Tolmer Speedway in Bordertown, South Australia. It's a direct copy of the legendary I-55 Raceway in Pevely, Missouri, but we'll get to that later. So what is a sprint car? Well, it weighs less than this, has 900 horsepower running from that huge methanol-burning 410 cubic inch engine through the driveline right between the driver's legs, and has a better power-to-weight ratio than a Formula One car. Huge wings, huge rear tyres. They need the wings because, well, sometimes they fly. It's hard to believe that youthful South Aussie racer Daniel Pestka has been racing as long as he has.
I started racing when I was 16 and I'm 32 now, so I've been racing for half my life, 16 years. And maybe as a driver I've sort of smartened up a little bit, as you have to, because these things cost a lot and yeah, if you're not real smart, it can get expensive.
Pestka celebrates his birthday as Brandt Sprintcar Speedweek heads to Tolmer Speedway for round 2. That's twice as many reasons to blow out the candles.
New Tolmer Speedway is awesome and I can't wait to be there on my birthday. It's probably, my birthday won't be the most important thing on that night, that's for sure. So I'm looking forward to having the first race there.
From dirt karts to sprint cars and even motocross, Pestka has always been racing on dirt.
The go-karts, like dirt karting in South Australia is huge and it just teaches you so much racecraft, keeping momentum and all that sort of stuff. And obviously go-karts are pretty sideways like a sprint car, so you sort of learn that feeling of being sort of the slide, I guess. You know, when you even doing a slide job and stuff like that, you sort of need to be aware of how far the car is going to slide, and it's important in a lot of ways for all that sort of stuff with the sprint car racing.
After 16 years in the game, do sprint cars still surprise him?
Oh, definitely. Every time, you know, hot laps at the start of every night when you put your foot down, it just sits you back in the seat like you wouldn't believe. And they're a cool race car to drive. I never get sick of it. I love the feeling of getting a good result, but it's definitely a hard motorsport. Like it's, there's a lot of late nights and a lot of hard work goes into running these cars and a lot of money. So you don't take it lightly. You always, you sort of take it pretty seriously.
How does this team work?
Very lucky and got some good car owners in Jamie and Sandy and James Stark, and sort of where we started 4 years ago when I started driving for the Starks. We sort of built it into a pretty, it's a pretty cool team to be a part of. It's a lot of fun, and the boys love racing, so we're always travelling somewhere and racing. It's just a good vibe there.
So what's the coolest part about driving a sprint car?
Just as you turn in, I reckon is the most exciting part, and maybe running a big cushion. Like I remember racing Parramatta with a huge cushion, and that was awesome, that place. So yeah, things like that are definitely cool in the sprint car. The competition, that doesn't really scare me anymore. It's, I grew up racing against my heroes, so that's a different thing to what it is today. They're sort of all retired now, and to race against all the good Americans and all that is, cool. Cool do we get to do that for a week or two.
Pestka won the biggest race of his career at Premier Speedway for the Max race in the lead up to this series. So what's his ambition for Speedweek?
Just try to get some top fives and keep consistent for the whole week, I think will be the goal. And get those time trials and start up the front and try to finish there.
Today, we head to the bridge and get things really cracking. Located way up on top of the hill overlooking Murray Bridge in South Australia and the mighty Murray River, this epic little bullring has been providing tight, close racing for years, and tonight will be no different. South Australian racer Quinn has given up plenty to chase this dream. The sacrifices he's made are all part of the plan to become a more established name in the sprint car industry.
Basically, when I started racing sprint cars, I just decided that's something I wanted to do. I was about 24 years old, had a house, laundromat business, truck, lightning sprint team, just sold everything, moved to Roxby, handed out my resume and got a job, and then started buying sprint car parts. And here we are now.
It's tough, financially and mentally, so why do it?
I enjoy the challenges of racing and also running the team, I suppose. It takes a lot of work and a lot of sacrifices, but it's a good reward and I enjoy doing it, and you can only do it for so long.
Quinn has to be mindful of keeping his budget under control, and it's planned out in theory as best he can.
So basically, all setting up the team is off my money at the start of the year. Also fix chassis and bits and pieces on the side, and that's my crash fund. And then prize money and sponsorship sort of got to get me through the year, basically. So I've got to try to finish top 10, at least make every show to make it work.
Brendan's aware of the high level of competition he faces on Brandt Sprintcar Speedweek.
There's always going to be challenges along the way, so it could be anyone, any night. Everyone can have a bad night too. So just go out there and do the best I can and hope for a good result.
His biggest win gave him credibility amongst the big teams.
So the All-Star Challenge was my biggest race back in 2022, I think, when I won that. So there's a lot of good cars then, and still managed to come away with a win. So can do it, just need to do it again.
The challenge of 5 nights and 7 days is something you have to plan carefully for.
Just making sure you've got enough parts to get through. Have the truck stocked. I leave a car in Warrnambool or Terang at Chris's place. And then, just try and stay out of trouble, really. Like, if you can keep it clean for 4 nights, then the 5th night, you're there.
So what is the coolest part about driving these cars?
It's a sensation from it. I still remember the first time I drove a sprint car, the feeling of it and how it puts you back in the seat and just the thrill.
What's a realistic goal then?
For Speedweek, my goal would be to finish top 10 every night, make every show. If I can do that, well then that's a great week for me.
As a proud South Aussie, the excitement of Tolmer Speedway's inclusion is huge for Quinn.
Tolmer's going to be hectic. Be fast, be good. Looking forward to a wider racetrack. They've done a great amount of work there, so looking forward to getting there and supporting it.
Brendan's best mate gives him an important life perspective.
You're a proud parent. Tell me about your boy.
Yeah, so proud parent to a staffy called Ted. He got a greyhound called Bella too, but she just lays in the background. She's not too fussed with the limelight, but yeah, Ted's a bit of a menace.
And he's always with you in the car on your helmet. And when did that all start?
That was probably 2022 after COVID. Just decided to stick him around there to remind me to have a bit more fun and just chill out and enjoy it.
Live life like a staffy.
Exactly, yeah, just happy-go-lucky and run into everyone.
After the break, we'll check out the feature race for round 1 of the Brandt Sprintcar Speedweek. And so a packed crowd and an epic lineup for the Brandt Sprintcar Speedweek round 1 here at Murray Machining and Sheds, Murray Bridge Speedway. Fantastic crowd here, as always, to kick off a brand new era. As we take a look at your 4 wide right now, ripping drone shots, and the field preparing now to get underway. Boy, Ryan Jones, what a moment for him. He will start on the pole alongside Brock Hallett. We'll go back to your second row with Luke Dillon and Lockie McHugh, Tate Frost, Glenn Sutherland. Chad Eli, what a return to competition for him. Daniel Pestka, Steve Caruso, Parker Scott, Randy Morgan, Will Carroll will line up at a position 12. Joel Heinrich, Garrett Williamson, Ethan Wiley, Chase Randall. It's about to get crazy here at the bridge. The city of Murray Bridge in the background. Great to have your company as we kick off a brand new era. And we're green at the bridge. Jones and Hallett. Ryan Jones, very much the local hero here in a car owned by local businessman Darryl Wright from Murray Machining and Sheds as they pack into turn 3 and 4. It's always busy here at the bridge. Tate Frost running the outside groove in the T62 for Doolan's heavy haulage. We work our way out of turn 4. Look at Lockie McHugh, the current Australian champion, makes a nice move as he comes after Jones. Slides up track. You've got a Triple X chassis leading a Triple X. Track is nice and wide and racy. Wonderful to have your company. Oh, we've got trouble here. It's yellow. We've got an issue. Wow. Ethan Wiley, Glenn Sutherland, and also Stephen Caruso caught up in an incident in turn number 3. There is Brendan Quinn in the 14 car and Rusty Hickman in the 40. You can see the damage to the Brendan Quinn front wing on that L&T Carl Manham number 14. Double file restart will pick him back up at your Gambia Earth Movers. Double file restart. And boy, it was going on early. We think back on our PWR Performance Products initial race look back. It was all Ryan Jones, but already Lockie McHugh starting to get the job done. Time to get after it on your Kaiser Wheels restart, and wow, away goes Jones, straight to the lead. You've got Hallett down low. Watching back in the field, Luke Dillon, Daniel Pestka is in there as well, and Garrett Williamson, Randy Morgan in there as well, the young man out of Brisbane. So Hallett goes back to second, and everybody is upstairs. You just saw Chad Eli in that bright yellow and black car. Slide job attempt, and it comes off, although it's briefly, for Luke Dillon, running the Parrott Family Racing entry with Tate Frost in that white and green Doolan's heavy haulage, number 62. A South Aussie veteran running against a Tasmanian newcomer. Having said that, he's about his 5th or 6th year running the sprint cars, is Tate Frost. Dillon, very much an old hand around this circuit, and cool to see him running with that Parrott Family Racing entry. They're everybody kind of upstairs on what we call the cushion. This is the first of 5 nights of the Brandt Sprintcar Speedweek, and Ryan Jones in the Murray Machining and Sheds Triple X upstairs as he puts a lap down on Wiley. And you can see Hallett starting to close in on him, and so too is Lockie McHugh. It's going to get busy. If you look to the left of your screen, we just saw a glimpse of the traffic. Brock Hallett knocking on the door, puts the slider on Jones, who switches back to try and keep the momentum. New race leader, the GW Racing Triple X of Brock Hallett, and now Lockie McHugh, the Australian champ, slides through to second, puts Jones back in third. Boy, the traffic. They're about to encounter some serious traffic here. Hallett dive bombs to the inside. He's got McHugh right there with him. Oh, Brock Hallett, what a move. Keep your eye on that black number 1 working the inside. That's Lockie McHugh. Hallett coming up on Ricky Maiolo now. They go back upstairs in turn 3 and 4. And boy, that move of Hallett's, that really was a Matthews Petroleum move of the night so far, when he was able to get through those lap cars. Here comes Lockie McHugh, right up behind Hallett. This is going to be interesting now. They're coming up on the lap traffic. Hallett upstairs. Oh, did you see McHugh? Oh, what a move by Hallett. Slicing through the traffic. He went by Keke Fallon, then moved by Riley Goodno out of Knoxville, Iowa. You can see upstairs, 2 fastest cars on the racetrack, to the left and through the center. Brock Hallett, and McHugh is definitely not done. Boy, what a move from Lockie McHugh. Hallett will try to come back at him on the low side, but this is a clinic from 2 of Australia's best sprint car racers. New leader, Lockie McHugh. Right behind him, the GW Racing entry of Brock Hallett. So it's the SRV Road Freight number 1 of Lockie McHugh, the current Australian sprint car champion. And boy, he's really starting to get a good break on Hallett just here. Running to the top, he goes by the stricken Brendan Quinn with that front wing damage. Nothing really. Oh man, that was close, and he banged a wall. That was very, very close. Just got to look. Oh, we got trouble here. It's a red. So car on its side. That means we will come back to a restart. And the first of our red light stoppages. Crash crew quickly on the scene as we have a look once more at the replay just here. And it's just so easy, unfortunately, to get tagged into the wall like that. That'll bring us back to a caution, our Sunnyside Instant Lawn replay. And it's not hard to do that, unfortunately, when you get into the wall up high on a cushion like that. So Parker Scott, the Mount Gambier teenager, crash crew quickly moving on to the scene. Go.
I'm Chris Sutherland and my dad's Glenn 20 and you're watching Sprintcar Speedweek.
So back at the restart right now, your Gambier Earth Movers restart, and away goes Lockie McHugh. It's a double file restart. Ryan Jones throws a big speculator at Brock Hallett and gets through. Gee, I tell you what, Chad Eli doing a great job back in the family car for a couple of rounds. You can see your race leader has gapped them. Significant lead. We now see Tate Frost coming on. We now see Rusty Hickman upstairs with that bright fluoro orange top wing. Few guys trying to work the bottom side now. That's Frost on the low side. Daniel Pestka in behind him. That's Chad Eli in the black and yellow 22. And Randy Morgan. That's Rusty Hickman to the top in that fluoro orange and blue number 40 car out of Bendigo. Frost upstairs as he tries to run down Luke Dillon. You just saw Rusty Hickman, who timed in very well, but unfortunately flipped in his heat race, and they've had to do some hurried work to get him back on track. American Chase Randall and American Garrett Williamson. Texas and Missouri in Murray Bridge. Hallett. Brock Hallett puts a beautiful slide job on Jones, who looks to return serve as they go down into turn 3 and 4. Hallett, gee, look at the drive he got off the corner then. just pulled away. Luke Dillon, very consistent, sitting there in that 4th spot. So a pair of South Aussies right there, led by a Queenslander and Brock Hallett, who's kind of been based across a number of different territories in Australia over the years. Jones to the left of your screen, Luke Dillon to the right. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, here's your leader, Lockie McHugh. Slide job on Glenn Sutherland, and he can seemingly put that Western Truck Group SRV Road Freight cool anywhere he likes. They've got that Newman engine that would pull a bend out of a river. Frost really getting going as well. Now look at Dillon there with Ryan Jones. So this is all going on here at the moment. Very, very busy. Daniel Pestka is in amongst that group. Oh, Frost loops the 62 and keeps it going. Boy, that could have been disastrous. Back to the main straightaway. Look at McHugh. And now Hallett throws a speculator back at him. So Brock Hallett storming back here. Wow, this has suddenly gone next level. Your race leader was Lockie McHugh. He throws another slider back at Hallett. Oh, this is tremendous. A brand new era for Speedweek. Hallett has the wing tugged right back. And Lockie McHugh, unbelievable the way they have switched back the race lead between them. They bang up against the cushion and the wall a little bit coming out of turn number 2. Hallett is right there. Again, there was nearly contact. Boy, that was close. Hallett puts the slider to Lockie. What a way to kick off night 1 of Brandt Sprintcar Speedweek here at the bridge. Through the traffic again, that's Dylan Jenkin in the 50 car. Jai Corbett as well. So McHugh has been able to play the traffic card very nicely there. And it's incredible how quick you can get away and get an advantage now. Boy, the risk factor is very high, particularly in turn 1 and 2. The cushion is right up against the wall. But McHugh looking better and better as he comes up to put a lap on Will Carroll. Car slowing. Oh, there was contact. Lockie McHugh, absolutely tremendous right now. So flag is up. Checkered flag is out. That happened right on the finish line. And Lockie McHugh will win night 1 of the Brandt Sprintcar Speedweek from a very fast finishing Brock Hallett, Ryan Jones. We then go back to Luke Dillon, Chad Eli, Daniel Pestka was 6th, Garrett Williamson 7th. And climbing up for the wing dance on top of that Kenworth logo is Lockie McHugh. He wins night 1 of Brandt Sprintcar Speedweek. Great shot of Lockie just receiving his giant check from Brandt in Keith in South Australia.
You haven't got a spare hand, otherwise I'd shake yours, but congratulations, another demon performance. How'd you enjoy that one?
Yeah, no, the track probably went away a bit more than I thought it would, especially in 1 and 2 there. So, yeah, probably was hanging a bit towards the end there, and yeah, Brock was seemed pretty fast, but yeah, managed to just hold him off, and yeah, it was a great battle with Brock. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, he got by you there with about 7 or 8 to go, and the minute he got by you could see almost like the horns popping out of your helmet. You were just super aggressive to get that lead straight back.
Yeah, I was. It was pretty thin up in 1 and 2 there, so I wasn't pushing it too hard up there. And then yeah, when Brock got past, thought to pick it up another gear and have a crack and yeah, try and get the win back. But yeah, they were really good tonight. But yeah, I'm just happy that it seems like we've got a really good package every time we roll in here now.
After a hectic first night, teams headed to Bordertown, South Australia for round 2, where a number of local businesses in the industrial estate offered up their workshops and facilities for the teams to wash and prep their sprint cars for a big night ahead at Tolmer. Former 2-time Aussie champ David Murcott is now helping Warrnambool youngster Peter Dukas.
David Murcott, you've been through this for Speedweek before. You know the grind. Now you're on the other side of the spanners.
Yeah, I guess, just out here enjoying Speedweek. You know, what else would you do after Christmas?
Exactly right. Right now you're actually having to tweak the chassis. What's going on there?
Yeah, unfortunately Pete was involved in somebody else's crash. He just had nowhere to go and didn't really do a lot of damage. It took the top wing and the front wing off it, but it actually pushed the down tube in far enough where it was basically touching the air cleaner. So we're just going to try and get it as straight as we can tonight rather than put a new car together, which is a lot more work. So we've got the porta power on it now, trying to give it a bit of a tweak.
Do you love this as much as you did when you were racing?
Oh yeah, I kind of do actually. You know, even though I love driving, I was always involved in the cars and working on them, and the technical side of it are part of the racing that I really loved as well. So been able to continue on with that. It's been good. And you like mentoring him, because I'm getting that's part of your role as well. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I try and mentor him a little bit, but as I said to Gavin White earlier, like good drivers don't need instructions and bad drivers don't listen to them anyway. So I guess Pete fits in there somewhere.
Good work.
It's been a busy time for Cam Waters as team boss and owner Cole Chief McQuinn explains.
Chief, not exactly the build-up you wanted to in Tolmer. What are you doing right now?
Engine change. We broke a couple of valve springs again. That's 2 nights in a row, so it's not worth the chance of maybe a stretch valve or something. So Dave's released us a motor for the night.
He was fast last night, just not when he needed to be.
Yeah, we just mucked things up in the shop. We just rushed too much, getting it loaded before Christmas Day. Missed a couple of things, so we've tuned that up. We take the shape chains off a bit now, so we should be right. Yeah, I'm confident.
You've told me that you've given Cam pretty well to take her off the leash for this year, right?
Definitely. I want him just to go out and chase it. Yeah, just go as hard as he possibly can. All the guys at the top are doing it. We have to do it too if we want to be competitive.
His strength is qualifying. There's no doubt about it. He's good at setting himself up.
Yeah, but we need to do it more. He's good in traffic too, but we've got to get our starts. We've got to go hard from the start. We've got to hang with the leaders, and that's the thing I've asked him to do this year.
All the teams appreciated the hospitality from Tatiara Truck and Trailers, All Ag and Auto, Bridgestone Tyre Centre, Sunnyside Instant Lawn and Brandt Bordertown, to name a few. With preparation work done, it was time to head on down the road to Tolmer Speedway, where the challenge for crew chiefs was changing the race car setup to an entirely different track layout from the night before. Crew chiefs Nick Speed and Mouse Green had the challenge at hand.
Nick, tell me about the 5 different places that we go to and how they're different in terms of their shape, their size, starting with Murray Bridge.
Obviously the size is probably the biggest thing. Murray Bridge, Avalon, Mount Gambier, not all that different. Obviously every track's got its different characteristics, but size-wise and gearing's not a huge difference. So that's probably one of the biggest things. We come to a track like this tonight at Bordertown here, and it's obviously new, but it's a lot bigger, it's a lot more banked, so there's probably a bigger change for here. Probably more similar to a Warrnambool type situation than the other 3.
So the width of this place, does that have any factor in how you can allow the car to move around on the track a bit more? Or do you need to be so mindful of the operating space?
Obviously, I believe a wider track's better because the driver's got a bit more room to move around. You know, you can open his entry out and turn it back down, and that's what makes good racing.
If we had the same track everywhere you went, your role would be less challenging, I would think, Mouse. Here we are at another venue, completely different to last night. Is that what you love about this?
Yeah, every track we go to, there's always different aspects that you got to take into consideration. And yeah, this is a bit faster, a bit free-flowing, and rely on your wing a lot more, which comes down to the driver a lot. So you want to try and not turn the wheel as much as you can, but the car needs to rotate as well.
Okay, so that's a challenge for Marcus and you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you definitely need the car up and going. You don't want it, too down because the speeds are up around here, and you need to get through the corners as quick as you can.
Does a track like this excite you as a crew chief?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just it's all a bit new for everybody here at the club, and just knows me. Pretty nervous about it all and getting the track right, which he's done an amazing job, like the whole club has. So couldn't ask for much more, like what they've done in the amount of time they've had. And it's not quite finished, but it'll get there. Like over the next few years, it should be pretty well one of the best racetracks in the country, I'd say.
How much have you changed from last night's setup to what you do when you come here?
Quite a bit, yeah. Last night we struggled early. We just couldn't get going. We were a bit loose on the greasy stuff, and then as the night went on we got better, but here is totally different again. So it's kind of like just forget last night, and that's the good thing about Speedweek. Next night's another race, so we'll just try and battle on tonight and hopefully get up front.
Tolmer Speedway celebrates a 60-year history this month. Only this year, that celebration has taken a spectacular twist. Wayne Rowett and a small army of volunteers, business owners, the Tatiara Council and the South Australian Government have basically started from scratch, replacing the original track with one of the most spectacular new tracks Australia has ever seen.
I think it started in the 60s, probably 3-4 years ago. Like, we deemed it unsafe and it was old. We couldn't race these cars here. I guess we had one in the shed, so you got local hometown, can't race it there, so build something we can race.
How much of the original did you keep?
The pole line's pretty much original. I think the pit canteen's still there. Other than that, pretty much everything else got pulled out.
From the time you said let's do this to the time you opened the gate, what period of time was that?
It's 3 years.
Were there times when you thought, what am I doing?
Yeah, towards the end. Like just trying to get it finished. Like we had this race booked in for the 27th. Just trying to get everything finished and get it ready to race on. It was a fair old battle. It wasn't just me, it's like all the girls, like they put a massive effort in to organise ticketing and all that. Like pretty much running another job outside of what they're doing.
Rowett asked a number of high-profile drivers what their favourite track on earth was, then made a call to I-55 Raceway in Peevely, Missouri.
Pretty much just got in contact with them and, you know, we want to build a track here and we'd like to copy yours. Can we organise to get someone go fly with a drone and map it? And, yeah, they were all cool with it. So, yeah, that was probably the easy part.
One of the real eye catchers is the amount of water required for the surface and how you water it.
Have you measured how many gallons, how many litres of water you put into it to get it ready?
800,000 litres we put on it. The last 3 or 4 weeks been a big push to get that water cart going we got going. For that reason, just because we're double the width, that means double the water, double the time out there to do it. A smaller truck, you go put a load on and it's dried out before you get back with the next load. So the idea of the water truck come from the old track, John Jenkins at Tatiara Trucks. He built it like it's an old railway fuel tanker and made a 10-metre boom on that to keep the traffic off it while we're watering. So I guess we couldn't use that because the width of the track, so we had to come up with a boom that would do the 24 metres. So I guess that comes back to the farming days. The sprayers we're using now, 48 metres wide. So we went to Gold Acres in Ballarat to get their input and get the design, get the strength, how we could achieve to make it water in one go.
It worked?
Yeah, it worked really well, yep. We got a few little bugs dying out of it and, you know, just trying to get a bit more water on the fence, up against the fence a bit more even. We're using GPS to do the laps with it. So we had Brandt there with their guys with the GPS. We mapped out a boundary on the fence and then they adjusted our boundary where the tractor had to run, or our AB line. And then we had to muck around with that to get it to go into the corners properly so the boom would stay a metre off the fence. Would be pretty close, I reckon.
Knoxville, Iowa sprint car driver Riley Goodno grew up in the sprint car capital of the world. So when did sprint cars first come into his mind?
Ever since I can remember, really. I mean, I've been going to races there since I was probably about 10 years old and been racing since I was 6, going to English Creek. That's about 15 minutes away. And then Yeah, and then when I turned 16, I just got into sprint cars, and it's been that ever since.
So, is there any history of racing in your family, Riley?
Nope, no history.
How did it all start?
I just think my dad, I think he was always a NASCAR fan, and then he moved to Des Moines, and someone told him about sprint car racing in Knoxville, and then he went to it, and then he started sponsoring a car, and then all of a sudden he just decided to own his own team, and then he made his own team and had a few drivers in it before I was 16, and then he just gave it to me.
Coming from the bigger USA tracks to the smaller Aussie ones has its challenges.
Trying to get back into it again, and it's just just the speed, the difference, and it's just about it really. It's about the speed, and at Knoxville you really need the wing. You need the wing to do a lot of work, and here you just kind of need more back it in and use your feet and your arms to control the car.
So what is it like to drive a sprint car?
Yep, because we got a driver's license at 16 in America, so yeah, I was probably driving them before 16 at one point, but yeah, I don't really know how to describe it to people. It's just a real thrill that you don't get with anything else.
The idea of racing on the other side of the world is something he now understands.
I never really thought I would come over here and race until Dave finally asked if I wanted to race over here, and I couldn't take up the opportunity, and I can't thank him enough for letting me do this twice now, and hopefully we can do this more in the future, but we'll see what happens.
So how does Goodno believe Americans view Aussie sprint car drivers?
I just think very aggressive driving, just how small the tracks are, and just because no one's really doing it full time here, so everybody's doing it just for fun. I mean, I just think that it's a lot of fun over here running with these guys, and I think they show a lot of respect on the track. No one's really running into each other and spinning each other out, but it's been cool.
Riley enjoys the different aspects of Australian racing, both on and off the track.
Doing that pit party at the beginning of the night is pretty key. I mean, they should probably do that more in America, but yeah, you guys there's always a lot of fans at every race and a lot of support.
He and fellow Americans Chase Randall and Garrett Williamson are all Knoxville Raceway products and have raced together a long time.
I've been racing against those guys since micro days, and we run at Oklahoma and all that, so I've been racing with those guys for a long time, and it's just cool to see them over here too.
Third-generation racer Marcus Dumesny grew up around Sprintcar Speedweek, watching his legendary dad Max ruling the roost. He'd like to do the same.
Yeah, definitely. It's something grew up attending to when we were younger, and always on the road, spending Christmas and whatnot over in Warrnambool, things like that. And you watch Dad win a fair few of them, it'd be good to get one of them, but see how it plays out. But looking forward to it.
For almost 10 years, he's raced for the family team, but this year he's exclusively with Rowett Motorsport. It's same, but different.
It's new, but it really isn't. We raced back when I got my first win at Warrnambool. That was Snow's car then. Me and Mouse, Steve-O. It's still the same operation. Still kind of runs that like that, but except we got Snow involved, and it's just a fun ordeal. You know, everyone gets to be involved, and now that Bordertown's back, or Bordertown's in the picture with the invitation of Peevely, it's something that's unreal to be a part of, and definitely add the spark to racing.
Crew Chief Mouse Green is an invaluable asset to Marcus's program. Their chemistry and understanding is crucial.
It's a bit of give and take, and I think that's when you want to be a successful racing team in any discipline, that's what it takes. You can't just hop in the car and expect it to be perfect without giving any input, and same vice versa. Days change, things change, and you got to bring all the knowledge you can to the party and make it work.
After almost 10 years in the sprint car saddle, Marcus still loves it.
It's what you grow up doing, it's part of your life. Some people say you wouldn't know any better, but I do know better, but I still, there's nothing that fulfills you like hopping in one of these things and banging it around the boards, getting upside down. It's just all the above. There's nothing quite like it, and in my eyes there's nothing that ever will be, and it's just that pure love of sitting in one of these cars that continuously will bring me back. There's nothing like it.
Dumesny has raced in the USA as well as Australia. He knows they're two different worlds with one similar passion. He also understands what it's like for the 3 young Americans he'll race in the series in Australia.
Everything has its similarities. It's just kind of getting used to different environments when you don't know people. You're all, like when I started racing in America, like, yeah, I was Max's son. Everyone knew Max, but I was Mitchell, you know? No one knew who Marcus was. And it just takes the time, and the more people you know, the better. It makes life a lot easier in that aspect. When it comes to racing cars and who you're racing with, like, as long as you can find similarities between what you do at home and what you're doing and kind of feed off of that, that's when I find I slowly started getting better, when I was able to bounce off of how I picture racing from home, not create some other idea in my head that it's a complete another version. I'm going to go better, I'm going to go worse. It's just how you race when you're home.
Well, this is one of the most anticipated moments in all of Australian sprint car racing, as we see SRA President Ian Cartledge, along with Duncan Ross from Brandt in border town, South Australia. The Velo lights, Pat Merritt loving activating this wicked chase light system in front of a packed house. The first ever main event held at Tolmer Speedway in Bordertown, South Australia, and just look at this lineup. The fans have turned up with an enormous amount of anticipation and not really sure what they're going to see, but this replica of I-55 Raceway in Pevely, Missouri, just looking around the venue in the months ahead. But for now, let's take a look at round 2 of the Brandt Sprintcar Speedweek. From Tolmer Speedway Bordertown, Marcus Dumesny on the pole with Jamie Veal, Lockie McHugh, Brock Hallett, Luke Dillon, Grant Anderson, Rusty Hickman, Jai Corbett, and we're green. An historic green light on Tolmer Speedway as Veal goes straight to the top. Marcus Dumesny driving for one of the real principals of this speedway, Wayne Rowett. That's his team owner. Boy, Jai Corbett right up against the wall just then. As they head down into that sweeping turn, Rusty Hickman looking to put the move on Lockie McHugh. They work their way out of turn number 2. Huge field, 24 cars on this racetrack for the first ever A-Main. You can see Corey McCullough down low, the ex-Warrnambool Classic champion. Nice to see him here. There he is down on that lower side of the racetrack in the 90 car. Hickman, you can see Grant Anderson running the top. Luke Dillon through the middle. A wheel stand from Jai Corbett just then in that Corbett's group, number 10. He's running the top of this racetrack. Tate Frost down on the bottom now as well with Corey McCullough. So 2 or 3 different lanes. They can run 5 wide around this place. Anderson upstairs. Grant Anderson set the quickest time in qualifying. He's the fastest man ever from the qualifying sessions we had at the start of the night. At Tolmer Speedway, Grant Anderson is the quickest in qualifying. So we settle down into some kind of a rhythm just here. Boy, you can see Dillon as we go yellow. He was just, there's problems here for Jai Corbett in that Corbett's group number 10. And that allows us to take a quick breath here from Tolmer. Boy, they were getting around here at frightening speed. Double file restart. Marcus Dumesny, do you dare to dream? Can he win the main event for his car owner, Wayne Rowett, who also is the principal and the man responsible, along with his fantastic and supportive group of family, friends, sponsors, local community businesses, and so many more that have become part of this dream and this field of dreams here at Tolmer? Can Marcus deliver? Brock Hallett closing in on Jamie Veal. Here comes Lockie McHugh. The intensity has really gone up on that Gambia Earth Movers restart. Boy, upstairs on the cushion. McHugh and Hallett, Hickman and Tate Frost. Anywhere you look, there's something going on. Hickman barrels up the inside of that peerless number 40 J&J, and you can just see Lockie McHugh looking to return serve. This is phenomenal. It's what we promised the fans they would get. It's what Rowett and his team said they could produce with this racetrack. There is Grant Anderson. He buys into the argument. Oh, did you see that? Rusty Hickman was so incredibly close to the wall. Tate Frost running on the extreme inside of that Doolan's heavy haulage number 62 car. We work our way down really close to this wall. They're at extremes of this racetrack, the extreme top and the extreme bottom, and everybody finding a groove. There is Glenn Sutherland in the Gambia Earth Movers number 20 car. You just see Brock Hallett in there as well. Jamie Veal for the first time during Speedweek. He's got Bobby Daly down low as he puts a lap down on him. They're spread right out except for Veal and Hallett now. And McHugh is starting to loom as well. So Marcus Dumesny is your leader. Boy, did you see the dive bomb just then? Daly was trying to get out of the way in that blue number 8. Lockie McHugh upstairs with Brock Hallett. Veal to your left. And Marcus Dumesny at the moment has the lead and a reasonable amount of room up his sleeve. The SRV Road Freight number 1 is coming. Boy, here comes Lockie McHugh coming after Veal. Sly job. Gets it done there. Veal goes back to the middle and drops to the bottom. Brock Hallett starting to get some real momentum on the top side as well. Boy, look at this. McHugh is really starting to rumble. He's starting to make ground on your leader, Marcus Dumesny, who's coming out of turn 4 just then. Boy, the traffic here. That's Dylan Jenkin just ahead of Lockie McHugh in that red, white, and orange and black number 50. Tatiara Truck and Trailers has been one of the real prime movers of all the developments here at this circuit. And Dylan Jenkin, welcome him back to competition. They're coming up now on Dane Court, putting him a lap down. Look at the top wing on Brock Hallett. So Veal trying to hunt down McHugh. There is Jai Corbett. So Marcus Dumesny, the black 47, is your race leader. He's looking to put Corbett a lap down if he can. Veal is closing in. So too is Hallett. And we know Lockie McHugh, after last night's win, is desperate to go 2 from 2. Hallett closing right in on Veal now. Boy, this is tremendous racing here at Tolmer Speedway in Bordertown. Hallett has that top wing dragged right back. So too does Jamie Veal. Both these guys having raced in the USA this year. Veal concentrating on the West Coast side of things, whereas Hallett went to the Midwest. You can see Lockie McHugh starting to make some ground. Now, Dumesny, is there a bit of smoke just coming off the Valvoline 47? The Rowett's Motorsport entry through the lap traffic. Beautiful move on Will Carroll. He's got Brendan Guerin in there as well. Kecky Falland in the Ford. And Marcus realizing time is getting away. He's almost end of this. It would be a dream come true for him to deliver. But you can just see Lockie McHugh is closing in. Marcus dive bombs on the traffic up to the cushion, and it's a substantial one at that. There is Peter Dukas. He's running the inside of that Giblin Family Homes number 98 car. There's the gap between the leaders. Dumesny in that black 47, and just behind him is the Australian champ Lockie McHugh. You can see smoke coming off the left side of the 47. McHugh is closing in. Oh man, Veal is getting close as well. Can Marcus hold on? There can't be more than a couple laps to go. McHugh having a really good look here, gaining momentum. Marcus goes through the middle, probably trying to chase a bit of rubber. They go by the virtual flagman once more. He's going to come up on Corbett, try and get this move made, and he does. Going through the middle, trying to work the top on Tate Frost. Oh, McHugh! Here comes Lockie McHugh, right up behind Marcus, and he finds the run off turn 4. Lockie McHugh side by side with Marcus. What a battle! Marcus nearly tagged the wall on the main straight. Veal is coming as well. He's in third, but Lockie McHugh has timed his run absolutely perfectly. Wow, what a drive. The SRV Road Freight #1 with the wing tugged back is rocking now. He's found the sticky groove. Dumesny back there in second. Veal closing in third, but an historic drive. Look at the smoke coming off the right rear for Lockie McHugh. Boy, he timed that perfectly. Checkered flag is out. Lockie McHugh is the first ever main event winner at Tolmer Speedway in Bordertown, South Australia. He'll go into the record books. What a drive. Marcus Dumesny will be filthy, but he really didn't do anything wrong. McHugh just put in a classy drive. So at the end of the first 2 rounds, Lockie McHugh leads the points with 720. But Brock Hallett is right there in second with 660. From Marcus Dumesny, 496. Luke Dillon, 475. Ryan Jones, 470. Rusty Hickman, 415. Garrett Williamson, 410. Jamie Veal, 400. Daniel Pestka, 400. And Brendan Guerin rounding out the top 10. We'll see you next time for our show, including round 3 from Borderline and round 4 from Avalon Raceway in Brandt Sprintcar Speedweek.